Jennifer does all the creating, and then I get to take all the credit for everything she does. So, good evening. Thank you for inviting us. I'm Dr. Chris McCusker from the History Department at MTSU, and I've been at MTSU for about 16 years now. And I am always looking for ways to make history feel more alive, which is something you folks do, right? It's not something I have to sell to you, but I do to my students and other folks. And Jennifer, who is the wellness coordinator at SportsCom, and I have been running together and biking together for about 7 years now, 6-7 years now. And we got to talking about our two goals. Me, to make people more aware of the history in their everyday, and Jen's goal to get people moving more in everyday. And so what we decided to do is to merge those two goals together and create the Historic Selfie Scavenger Hunt. Now, the idea is all Jennifer's. She's very good with this stuff, where we would start people out at 5 sites, and I'll show you them in just a second. And we would give you an address to start, and then your job is to use your phone and GPS coordinates to find the actual historic site. And we designed it in such a way that you don't have to actually run to the site. It's similar to the coffee marathon that she runs every January through March, in that you're out and you're moving and you're doing something. But this particular scavenger hunt was done so that anybody could do it, and you can even drive to some of the spots. Okay? So everybody can do it. We want everybody to be able to make those two goals come together. So we chose 5 different spots in town, and they're going to be very familiar to all of you. Yes, so we'll start. The pictures are over here, so you can see. You want to come here? Come on, Vanna. Okay.
Well, first of all, you want to show them the map?
Yes. So you begin with a map.
Over here, you can see it.
Yeah, we'll leave this. We'll leave some stuff for you folks. And you begin with a map, and you begin with a starting address. And each of the addresses, for those of you who are good with smartphones, which would not be me, there's what's called a QR code that you can zap with your smartphone. Me, I still rotary dial, so speaking to my peeps here. And so what you do is you start at the initial address, which is given on.
It's right here.
Yeah. And then you put in the GPS code, and you go, like a scavenger hunt, you go look for the historic site that we have obviously not hidden from you, but that people may or may not know about in town. And then you use your phone to zap the QR code.
And that brings up
a history of the thing you're looking at. Okay?
You have the address, and then you have an overview of what you're looking at. You have the address. Do you really need that?
Yes.
You have the address, and then you have an overview of what you're looking for, and then you also have a picture, a little bitty picture of what you're looking for. So you have 3 kind of chances to find what you're looking for. And then when you get there, you take a selfie.
You all know selfies. That's what all the kids are doing these days. They take their phones and smile. Bless their hearts, right? All right. So now these are going to be sites that all of you are familiar with. But believe it or not, as we've gotten into this, more and more people have said, oh my God, I had no clue that was there, including Jennifer, okay, in some cases. She's well versed in the history of this town now. So, for example, you start at Patterson Park.
It's okay, so we're going to tell you something. These are secrets. All
Yeah.
right? Don't tell anybody that we're telling you, because we're going to tell you where the end is.
Because what you do is you
More
drive.
secrecy, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So
Start here.
You go to Patterson Park, which has adequate parking.
Don't tell them.
Don't tell them it's adequate parking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do they end up?
And
This
where do you
is-
end at? Bradley
There you
Academy, thank you, yes. And so each of these places,
Well, let's see if they know this one. Where's this?
they know that one.
Oh, that's it.
Oh,
That's all
Yeah,
yours.
but that's what we told you that. What's this?
that's the spring it opens.
Of course it is, Russ.
That's
Oh,
what you're
yeah.
supposed to find, but don't tell anybody.
Okay, but the thing is that one of the neat things about the spring, for example, and you folks know this, is that you stand and look at the spring, and there's Oakland's to your left. They think the old slave cabins are under the softball fields there, baseball fields there, and then you look down the spring and some of the old Indian or Native American encampments are there. So you look, you stand in one place and you see three different histories.
And I believe that's in the narrative.
It is part of the narrative. And actually what's been fun about this is my undergraduates have written those narratives for the most part. So we were able to use history majors to do some of the work for us because they could use it. All right, so then you start at Stones River Battlefield and then you hit, what is this one? Yeah, I can, yes. Ms. Daniel
Way to
would know that.
go.
Yeah, Ms. Daniel would know that one. Yes.
Two more, hang with me, two more.
Okay, what is that second?
Hey,
Hey, Mom.
it's where, hang on, let me see if I can read it.
I didn't write that one.
This far,
And
no,
I'm a 20th century historian.
this far,
so-
but no further.
I have to cut that part out, okay?
All right, then we'll be here. Anybody ever been here?
Yeah, that's Barfield.
Correct. The Wilderness Station at Barfield Park? I know. Oh, that's it.
That could be anywhere in the county.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's,
it could be, that's entirely correct. And so one of the things that we've been able to teach people is this one may be at Barfield Crescent, but Park, but there are lots of them around the county. And those are leftovers, those are the sort of souvenirs that you find from the past. And to teach people, those eyeballs, to see that history's around us.
You know who built a lot of those?
Slaves.
How about the CCC?
And the CCC has stuff in this area too. That's the next
Is
big
that
history
big?
project in this town, is CCC.
last one.
Hospital.
Nope.
No.
It looks like it though, doesn't it? It's too new.
It's an MTSU.
Yeah, it's
Very
the-
good.
it's the union.
It's the union.
It's a, yeah.
Union. And one of my favorite buildings in town.
Oh, that's the theater?
Yeah,
Very
Murfreesboro,
good.
Little Theater, that was New Deal. I'm actually teaching the Great Depression next month and the New Deal, so we'll be looking at those buildings. So the idea is that you find your place where you're supposed to go. You take your selfie with your phone or not, it's your choice. And when you get them all finished, the Rutherford County Historical Society, and with deep thanks for this, we donated a bunch of books by Dr. who,
Charles B. Arnett.
yeah, that really great book that he wrote, and gave us the
Main Street, Ming Slide Main Street.
Slide.
Main Street, that's right. And that's your sort of prize for having finished all 5 scavenger hunts. So it's based on that old idea of a scavenger hunt. You go find your old Aunt Mary's apron, only now it's an historic site. That's the basic idea. Can we answer any questions about this? Oh, the other thing is that the whole program won a statewide award. And with gratitude, we wanted to take a picture. Jennifer wants us to take a picture.
I do, I need a picture.
Because Jennifer likes pictures. But we wanted to say thank you officially to the Rutherford County Historical Society for the donation of the books. This is kind of a big deal for us that Sportscom actually won this from the Tennessee Parks and Rec State
It's a Tennessee,
Parks and Recreation Association. It won the Community Wellness Award for the state. And so we're hoping that this is a model of public history and exercise that will spread out. So hang on, let's take a picture, Jen, before we forget. Do you want to?
Okay, so it's a big circle.
Yeah. So some of the mileages are like 0.5, but the longest one is the campus to Murfreesboro Little Theater, which is what, 4.5 round trip.
Yeah, it's right about there, but you could also drive it.
But that
Not
was the
we want
point.
you to, but
The point was is we wanted also, we're thinking broader in terms of population, so if you had some special needs populations that wanted to go, we want them to be able to go see the historic site too. Well, you can't get people in wheelchairs there necessarily, so we wanted them to be able to drive, or golf cart it at the Barfield Crescent, right?
yes, they
Yeah.
have like a Range Rover thing. Not Range Rover, do they?
Could you consider
All-terrain.
Yes, sir.
including our Ransom's food?
You know what, we're looking for ways to expand this, and that would just be phenomenal. That's an awesome idea. One of the expansions I would really like to see is teaching people architecture. So you're walking down a street and you see the California bungalow and you can say, oh, 1920s. Or the federal style, oh, 1850s and 60s. we just need to figure out how to do that in such a way that people don't go start knocking on other people's doors. Now, knocking on the ransom school would be a perfectly reasonable thing to do. So yeah, that might, we also don't have the courthouse on there. And so we would want to also put the
I
courthouse.
think the Heritage Center has a walking tour of
You know what, I think, and actually, didn't you do that?
I actually did it with my, one of my children that went to campus school. We did it, so that was really cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, somebody designed that, and it's a neat little walk, yeah.
And I just want to speak to the GPS coordinates also.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I know there's people of all talents, all levels of.
Rotary phone to smartphone,
Technical.
yes.
We did offer a website you could go to, so those who maybe didn't even have a computer and maybe had to go to the library or whatever, could look up on the website, plug in the coordinates, and be able to do this program. We wanted to include as many people as possible, so.
Do you have an app for the coordinates, or how do you plug in the coordinates on your smartphone?
QR code reader. Or you can use Google Maps. You can use Google Maps, yeah.
I guess I never used it.
Yeah,
What's
the maps. You guys.
The website
You can
is
ask Siri.
actually on the history department at MTSU's website, and we'll make sure when it comes time that it's up and running again, because sometimes the history department will cycle things off for a while. But the logo,
The history department was absolutely fabulous. They were so helpful. It was amazing, amazing.
so this logo would be on the left side of the history department's website, and you just click on it, and that's also where all the narratives are. And yeah, so if you decide to, don't tell Jen if you don't walk it, but.
It looks like that. And you can just to your sites. That's what it looked like when it was up.
Something that I might suggest for you
Yes,
to
ma'am.
think about in the future.
Yes, ma'am.
Bethany Hall in the Rutherford County government
Yep.
has been setting all the cemeteries on GPS. And there are well over 100 Revolutionary War soldiers buried in this county.
Okay.
And you could conceivably GPS those cemeteries and have information about each one of those.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah. Like I said,
And
and what,
it's in that cemetery.
okay, cool. The goal is always to incorporate our history majors as much as possible. We want to create lifelong historians, even if they don't necessarily practice it as a trade to raise the, pay the bills and stuff. And so, yeah, definitely, that's a great idea.
The only one they couldn't get to is Cannon Cemetery though, because it's restricted space.
Yeah, it's on the old airfield, yeah.
But now there was a group a few years ago that was hiding canisters and they were using GPS to find the
Oh,
canister.
geocaching?
Right.
Yeah. We foresee ourselves getting this on national geocaching website so that folks will, it brings more people into the county. Because people, and I'm not a geocacher, so I'm gonna, it's not something I would do, but I guess people just go on vacation so they can go geocache in different places and they just Google geocaching and then it comes up, so.
It was a very small road bump we hit with the geocaching was the battlefield. You're not allowed to put anything on state property, or sorry, federal property. That wasn't available to us. And that was actually one of the things that moved us forward. We thought, well, what can we do? We can take a selfie. That way we don't leave anything behind, but you still have something that you've done, and so that helped us out in that way.
We'll leave you some of the bulletins, so you have that, and.
Great. I know you have some things that you are leaving for people to pick up.
Yep.